It was a demonstration. It was a group of demonstrators started by Chris Joseph in the early 90s, and I got involved in the late 90s. And slowly but surely we worked it into Westminster because we started building a database of bank, as far as I'm concerned, what I would call criminal activities, where land was missing off deeds that were left in their trust, or property wills were not executed correctly by bank managers. And there's a lot of wrongdoing going on by banks on a bigger scale, and somebody needs to stand there and say this is wrong and we need to stop it. And so basically we did a document called There's a Necessity to Regulate Bank Abuse, and that led to us working with MPs in Westminster. So we actually became a charitable, registered by guarantee, limited by guarantee company, so that everything we did from then on was legal. And that's basically the concept of S.A.F.E, because it stands for Struggle Against Financial Exploitation. So anybody out there with financial problems has now got a route into Westminster, because the courts don't always produce an effective remedy. Basically, we want the banks to clean up their act and be a far more ethical outfit than they are now. They ruin people's lives and businesses at the moment. They rescind agreements. You might go in and get one case I can think of is where banks agree to do something with a customer, and they promise them this, that and the other, and if you're playing golf with the manager you think it's all hunky-dory. Do not trust it. And as soon as you get that loan or that facility, take the money, move it to another bank. That's the only way it's safe, because otherwise if they pull the plug halfway through your project fails. And we've got more than one case of this happening. We try and help with individual cases, but we haven't got the staff or the facilities or the funding to do as much as we'd like. One of our people was responsible for the Enterprise Act, which is where your IVAs come from. And also, more recently, Stephen Hone and myself were involved with the negotiations with the Office of Fair Trade to reduce bank charges. We're the people that got it changed, Stephen Hone and myself. In particular, yes, there's a few, for example, charges on properties. People don't realise sometimes that there's even a charge being put on their property. And even if you do realise there's a charge on, people never ever take them off. I would like the law to be that once that debt is satisfied, whoever lent you the money, it's their responsibility to remove the charge, and therefore it's unenforceable against other debts. Because we've had people lose their homes because of that. In the olden days, everybody trusted their bank. We're of a generation now that this generation should learn they shouldn't trust a bank. And they should ask the bank all the questions, and you've got to presume that anything that the bank do is going to be to its advantage and not yours. I can give you some examples. Critical illness cover is, you've got to really dot and cross the small print, because otherwise we've had people suffering with cancer and they're refusing to pay out. Now, if that's not critical, tell me what is. Endowment policies, again, and also the other policy, you've got various services the banks provide, but they do cover themselves. You've got to make sure that you understand everything. Dot the I's and cross the T. If you want your credit cards covered and cash in your house covered and everything else covered, make sure it says it on that policy. If it doesn't, it's not covered. And then you've got no case. Check your bank statements. They load your account, and it's called loading or grazing, a few pound here or there. But it's your money, and it's coming off of your accounts. Businesses should especially check them. We've got accounts where up to £24,000 has been grazed on some small businesses. That can ruin a business. And any document you go into a bank and fill out and complete, you walk away with a copy, and you sign it, and the bank person, member of staff, because if you don't, that document can be changed and tampered with, and we've got cases of that as well. So if you're going for a personal loan, you want a copy and you want it signed by the member of staff, and you want to walk away with your terms and conditions and your percentage, because otherwise that can change. There's a far bigger problem in this country than people realise. The main banks own a lot of the smaller credit card companies, and it comes to you. You might find that one bank you're in hop to on 4 different cards, but it's all one bank, and they can actually pull the plug on you. And it's scary because people don't realise that a lot of these other cards are owned by the big banks. So if everything comes on top, you are stuffed. It's kind of word for it. You can lose all. But also the public have got to be responsible in their borrowing and their lending. It's all very easy going out there and saying, I'll have it now, but you've still got to pay for it, and you're going to be charged a hell of a lot of interest. And you've got to accept the fact that you could lose your home, your business, if you don't watch your spending. The public should really try and avoid ending up in court against a bank. The bank, by virtue of its power, and I mean monetary power, will 9 out of 10 times win. And there's an article here from the lawyer, and it says the banks play the panel system and clients do not have a choice. So basically any decent lawyer or barrister in this country is under contract to the bank. So me as a member of the public cannot get a decent barrister to represent me against a bank. That also is a strong indication of the power they have. And therefore I would advise anybody to come to an organisation like us. We've all been in court, we've all got the T-shirts, and we've all lost major amounts of money. Come to us, there are other ways of doing these things now.